With the state's eviction moratorium set to expire tomorrow, tens of thousands of New Yorkers are worried they'll be out on the streets.
Today, many of them rallied to extend it, but organizations representing landlords saying they've had plenty of time. CBS News' John Diaz live in Midtown with more for us this noon. John?
Yeah, exactly, Chris. Good morning. Good afternoon, rather, to you and Mary both. Now, leaders of the organizations that represent these landlords saying that, this moratorium has been going on for far too long and it is, quote, crushing them, saying that extending it one more day will lead to even more hardship.
I'm behind my rent again, so it's been really too crazy for me to keep things as steady.
Karina Popowich is a single mother from the Bronx, and like many, the pandemic has taken a financial toll on her family after she lost her job with the MTA.
I've been unemployed for almost 2 years. I did get some jobs, but they couldn't open because of COVID.
Today, many in her shoes are rallying for better rental protections and demanding Governor Kathy Hochul extend tomorrow's deadline when New York State's eviction moratorium expires. Tenant advocates are calling this expiration a doomsday and are asking for protection through June.
It appears we have a governor who either doesn't understand the magnitude of the housing crisis in the state or does not have the capability or courage to address it.
In March of 2020, the New York State rent moratorium was put in place as an emergency measure. Many in the housing industry were understanding of the consequences the pandemic brought, but now
it's time for tenants who are capable of paying their rent to begin paying their rent once again. We understand that there are still tenants out there who are still impacted by the pandemic, but there are measures in place to continue protecting those tenants.
Vito Signorelli is with the Rent Stabilization Association. He says it's never been about evicting tenants, but the landlords he represents, many mom and pop buildings, owe the rent due to them. Some people haven't paid rent in almost 2 years.
There are unfortunately some bad actors out there who have taken advantage of this moratorium.
In a last-ditch effort to prevent a crisis, Mayor Eric Adams turning to the Biden administration to help out New York City, begging the Treasury Department to send immediate additional federal aid for New York's emergency rental assistance program that would cover people's rent.
New York State is only received $27 million out of the $1.1 billion the Treasury Department set aside for further assistance. That is insulting to our state.
His demands echoed in a letter sent by the governor of New York, New Jersey, California, and Illinois, states that represent a quarter of the nation's population and 30% of the nation's low-income renter households. And leaders with the Rent Stabilization Association say that if Washington does not help out, does not give that additional aid, that could also hurt small property owners, because without that aid or rent coming in, they may not be able to afford to pay their real estate taxes or mortgages. We're live this afternoon from Midtown Manhattan. John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
John, thank you for